Today we are going to discuss the topic farmer movements in India. So let's dive into the topic. Agrarian movements. Agrarian movements. So basically, what I do is I'll just read out what's on the screen and then I'll explain each everything in detail. So please watch full video. Okay. So the first one is agrarian movements in India began during the colonial period. The British economic policies led to a decline in traditional handcraft industries, which in turn changed land ownership and increased debt for peasantry. This led a series of farmer movements and uprising. So, during British rule, many Indian farmers faced serious problems like traditional village industries like weaving and pottery. Both were destroyed by British imports. So, land ownership was changed. Rich landlords like zamindars controlled land, while poor farmers had to pay high taxes and rent. Many farmers fell into debt and lost their land. So, this led to agrarian movements, protests, and campaigning by farmers to demand fair treatment. So, after that, what happened is all these farmers made a movement. It was named as Kisan Raitu Sabha movement. A movement is nothing but when a group of people feel that they are left out by the society or they are not getting enough respect or anything, any enough rights. So there will be a movement. The people what they want, they are not getting it. Okay, so like the basic things which a human need, they are not getting. They'll make a group, there will be a leader, and in some cases there will not be a leader. But yeah, they will protest in a peaceful manner. Like there will be no violence that much. The Kisan Raito Sabha movement was started in Bihar by Swami Shahjanda Saraswati in 1929. He founded the Bihar Provincial Kisan Sabha BPKS to mobilize peasants against Zamindar system and fight for their rights. This radical development ultimately led to the information of the All India Kisan Sabha at Lucknow Conference of Indian National Congress in April 1936. So just think of it this moment like farmers union fighting for social justice. In 1929, a leader named Swami Shajananda Saraswati started the Bihar Provincial Kisan Sabha. His goal was to help poor farmers stand up against powerful landlords, zamindars, who were exploiting them. He organized meetings, protests, and awareness campaigns to unite farmers and demand fair land rights. And this local movement grew stronger and spread to other parts of India. In 1936, during a Congress meeting, the Lucknow leaders from across India came together from All India Kisan Sabha, a national level farmers organization. So, for example, imagine a classroom where only few students get all the books and others have to borrow them, pay extra fees. One student stands up and says, "This isn't fair." Soon, more students join in and they form a group to demand equal access to books. That's what Kisan Sabha did, but for land and farming rights. So next is Indigo Movement. The Indigo Movement started in Bengal 1859. European planters and forced Indian farmers to cultivate indigo on their lands instead of preferred crops in return. The farmers were given an advance payment, but the amount was very low. The planters used fraudulent contracts, and if farmers refused to cultivate indigo, they were often punished. The movement started when farmers in the village of Govindpur in Bengal refused to grow indigo. The protest spread across local leaders and convinced all farmers boycott of cultivation of indigo. The movement was significant success as it led to appointment of the Indigo Commission in 1860, which addressed farmers' grievances and protected them from planters. During British rule, farmers in Bengal were forced to grow indigo, a plant used to make blue dye, instead of food crops like rice or vegetables. So that plant just makes a blue color. So farmers used to grow rice or vegetables in their land, but they were forced to grow the indigo plant which made blue color. And why was it a problem? Farmers didn't want to grow indigo because it ruined the soil and didn't feed their families. Like there is not that much income for, compared to vegetables or rice. If they grow vegetable or rice instead of indigo, they used to get more profit. So British planters, here in the para, planters are nothing but the British people, gave tiny advance payments and used tricky contracts to trap farmers. If farmer refused, they were threatened or punished. And in 1859, the farmers in a village called Govindpur said no more indigo. This brave act inspired others soon. Many villagers joined and boycotted indigo farming. Local leaders helped to spread the message and farmers stood united against the planters. The protest was so strong that the British government had to listen. In 1860, they created Indigo Commission to investigate the issue. The commission supported the farmers and protected them from being forced to grow indigo. So, just imagine being told only to do max homework every day. Even if you have science or art, you are not promised a reward, but it's tiny. If you say no, you are punished. And finally, one student refuses and others join in. Together, then convince the school to change the rule. That's what Indigo movement was like. Farmers standing up for their rights and getting what they wanted. So this video is getting too long, I think. Uh, you can read out this para. I'll just explain it, okay? In 1873, farmers in Pabna district, Bengal were facing big problem. Landlords were charging unfairly high rent, much more than that was legally allowed. Farmers were struggling to pay and feared losing their land. So, instead of fighting with weapons, they chose a peaceful path. They supported they formed a farmers union, like a support group to protect each other. They raised money to hire lawyers and fight legal cases against the landlords. Their goal was so simple: to follow the law and stop unfair rent system. This movement was led by Ishan Chandra Rai and other local leaders guided the farmers. The movement stayed non-violent and it didn't directly oppose British rule. It focused only on landlord injustice. And the famous people like Rabindranath Tagore supported the farmers. Tagore even wrote about the struggles, helping spread awareness. So I'll just give an example. Imagine your school starts charging 500 rupees for a textbook that should cost rupees 100. A group of students comes together, collects money and hires someone to talk to principal. They don't shout or fight. They just use rules and logic to fix the problem. That's what Pabna farmers did. Deccan riots. So in 1875, farmers in Pune and Ahmednagar, Maharashtra, they were in deep trouble. They had to pay high taxes to British government. Moneylenders gave loans with very high interest, trapping farmers in debt. After American Civil War ended, the price of cotton dropped. So farmers earned less but still had to repay big loans. And most farmers protested peacefully, but in some places they burned the houses of money lenders. Okay, they just burned the houses. You can see in the picture, it was about Deccan riots. And guys, in every slide, I attached a picture related to it just for visual reference. Sometimes words or paras we may not remember, but if you observe an image for 30 seconds to a 1 minute span, it will be feeded. Okay, when you get to write exam, like you can see this Deccan riots burning uh, money lenders homes, like that. You can make out something in the exam related to it, not an exact topic, but you can make out something. So there is always something better than nothing, no? You can make out something. Use this trick, it's very useful. And from past 10 videos also I'm doing this for you, because I used this trick in my exams. It worked out and never got into a backlog, so I suggest you to try this also. So the documents that show how much money they owed. So they burned the people houses of money lenders, and the documents, particularly the documents that showed how much the money they owed. Like money lenders lend money to someone in huge amounts, no? Like they will take their land. So yeah, like that, they will not have any record. In the time paper was the only record, they don't even know how much they did lend to other farmers. This was their way of saying we can't survive like this. So the British government investigated the riots and realized that the farmers were being treated unfairly. In 1879, they passed a law called Deccan Agriculturist Relief Act, which gave farmers some protection from greedy moneylenders, but made loans rules, and they made loan rules fairer and more transparent. So imagine a student borrowing money to buy books, but the lender keeps increasing the repayment amount unfairly. One day, the students protest and tear up the fake bills. The student sees that the charges changes in rules to protect students. So that's what the Deccan riots were. Farmers standing up against unfair debt. Champaran Satyagraha. So in 1917, farmers in Champaran, it was a state, like it's a place in Bihar, they are facing a problem. British planters forced them to grow on 3 by 20th part of the land. This was called Thinkathia system. Thinkathia system. Farmers couldn't grow food crops on that land. They were paid a very little for the indigo. If they refused, they were punished or taxed heavily. So, what did they do is they invited Mahatma Gandhi to help, and Gandhi came to Champaran and listened to farmers' problems. He organized a peaceful protest, no violence, just truth and unity. And local leaders and villagers joined him in the movement. Gandhi's efforts worked. The British government set up an inquiry commission to get it investigate. The result was Champaran Agrarian Act, which ended in Tinkhatia system. The farmers were free to grow crops of their choice. Imagine being forced to do only drawing homework every single day. Even if you love science, you get a tiny reward, and if you say no, you're punished. Then a kind leader visits your school, listens to you, and helps to change the rule. That's what Gandhi did for farmers in Champaran. Kheda Satyagraha. So in 1918, farmers in Kheda district, Gujarat, were suffering from famine. So yeah, there was a drought and crops failed and farmers had no income. But the British government still demanded full land tax. Farmers asked for tax exemption, but government said no. And farmers decided to protest peacefully. Mahatma Gandhi and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel led this movement. They were leaders for this movement. Farmers refused to pay the tax. This was called Satyagraha, meaning truthful resistance. There are so many सत्याग्रहs, उप्पू सत्याग्रह वगैरह वगैरह बहुत कुछ है. But let's complete this. I'll explain all the satyagrahas in upcoming videos. So, in response, the government seized their land and property. The protest worked. The government agreed and suspended the tax for a year. Surprisingly, all seized land and property were returned to farmers. It was a big win for the peaceful protest and farmers' rights. So, I'll just give an example. Imagine your school asked for full fees even though classes were cancelled due to flood. Students and parents politely said, "We can't pay right now." The school refuses, so they stop paying and they make a peaceful protest. Eventually, the school agrees and decides to delay the fees. That's what happened to Kheda farmers when they stood up for famine without violence. This one is last. I know the video is too long compared to my previous videos, but yes, it's a very important question in your exams. So yeah, I don't say to batti the full answer and write exactly what it is, but just make sure you remember all the moments that were in this question and write it according to you. So, the Bardoli Satyagraha. In 1928, farmers in Bardoli were shocked. The British government increased land tax by 22%. Even though farmers were already struggling, farmers said this is unfair and refused to pay the extra tax. So, what did they do? So they made a movement which was led by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. The farmers started a peaceful protest. They also organized a social boycott, meaning they ignored and avoided government officials who came to collect taxes. So there was no violence, just strong unity and discipline. The protest was so powerful that the government had to investigate. An inquiry committee was formed. The committee found that the tax hike was unfair. The tax was reduced to just 6.3%. This was a huge victory for the farmers and non-violence resistance. So imagine your school suddenly increases the exam fees by 22%. Students and parents said, "This isn't right. Stop paying." They also stop attending school events and school investigates and agrees to lower the fee. That's what happened in Bardoli. Farmers stood together and won. I hope this video was helpful. This is the end of the video. Please like, share and subscribe. It just takes 2 seconds for you to subscribe. But each subscribe makes a lot of change for me. So yeah, keep supporting me, make me win, make my wish come true. When I was writing exams, all the videos were not in one channel. I'll make sure to cover each and every field of study in South states, and if I get enough support from you guys, I'll make sure to cover each and every topic, each and every exam. My motive is just to provide all the videos for the students who are working or they didn't even attend classes, they were unable to attend classes. Like there are many cases, like a student has to work. Yeah, that's true, a student has to work due to their financial issues. So nowadays it's too common, like they pay for attendance and they just go to work, and in last 1 week or 10 days they start studying. So at that time I want to be crucial for them and make my videos helpful for them, make me win, make my motive win. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you support, please support guys.